Welcome back, everybody. This is Retro Challenge Gamer, and we're here with Megaman Rock and Roll. And just beat Missile Man in the last episode, and now we're going to go after Tide Man. Yeah, we're going to go after the water level of the bunch next. Now, amazingly enough, physics and stuff that I complained in the previous level actually is not that big of an issue when you're underwater and you're subjected to the underwater physics here. I mean, it still happens, like I still miss ledges, as you'll see in the outtakes, but it's not as prevalent. So yeah, some very interesting enemy types, specifically the pufferfish. Basically, you just need to either get around them as they explode or shoot them enough so they explode before they get to your position. And that was a nice entry room for learning how bubbles work with insta-death spikes, because they're about to throw you into the thick of it real quickly here. Now, that octopus, when you get hit with its ink, you turn black. I don't really understand if it does anything other than change your sprite for the remainder of the level, or if there's some sort of movement hindrance, but I haven't really noticed anything. So right here, drop, drop, go. And that O up there, I did try the missiles from Missile Man. It did not seem to work, so I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to get that O, unless it's another weapon item or some such. Okay, these jellyfishes, very annoying. You want to get rid of them before they get to your position, or they have a very good chance of knocking you into the abyss. Now, compared to the previous level, this level is actually very generous with the health. Like, insanely so. There was not many times that I had low health like I did in Missile Man's level, so for whatever reason, this is way more of a forgiving level, despite a lot more, well, it's about the same instant death as the previous level, if not less, actually. It just seems like a lot because it's underwater and it spikes, and that's common bedfellows in Mega Man games. So this mini-boss, the issue here is not the boss itself, it's actually the shrimp. The shrimp are what make this bad. Instead of 2 hits or 1 hit, it's 3 hits per shrimp, which can get a little crazy if you don't keep up on managing the shrimp population, because they don't disappear from round to round as the anglerfish goes back and forth. So your focus should be on the shrimp first, and then the little angler energy power-up second. Overall, not a bad mini-boss. Now, if you happen to shoot the light sources out, which are these jellyfishes, don't worry, those little plants there actually provide light sources all on their own if you shoot them. I actually did not know that my first time going through, and I was in pitch blackness. But we'll just let this jellyfish chase us and maintain light throughout the whole area. So once you're up to this point, you're basically almost done with the level. In fact, this level is actually trickier than the boss is. Although I have performed pretty poorly with the boss, but it's easy to see what he does. Wow, that was terrible. Okay, just avoid and skip this one altogether. That's a tricky little jump there. Watch out for the last starfish, and that's it. It's not a bad level. I feel like it's easier in some respects than Missile Man, but Tide Man essentially is easier if you know what he's doing. Okay, you'll want to shoot these fish, otherwise they'll circle back around and come at you for a second pass. And then he gets himself a little bubble shield, and then does 3 random dashes across the stage at varying heights. I don't really know if he has a pattern or if he repeats something. Okay, to avoid his anchor, you actually have to slide under it and then jump through the chain. That's the ideal way of getting through it. And then, of course, he sicks his fish on you. But there's a lot of chances to get hits in on Tide Man, which makes him one of the easier bosses. I mean, his worst attack is really that, the anchor. The anchor is his worst attack by far. So I almost expect the anchor to happen when he goes up at that altitude after he loses his bubble shield. Like, 99% guaranteed he'll do the anchor. Sometimes he'll do it at this level, at ground 0, but Not very often. He's not that bad, see? Oh, super easy boss. The level was trickier than he was. Alright, so it's one of two things I'm going to get. It's either that bubble shield, and this is the shield weapon of the game, or I'm going to get something to do with his anchor. That's just my Mega Man intuition telling me. I don't think I'm going to get fish. I'd be surprised if it was summoning fish. Shield. Yep, shield bubble. It's a shield weapon of the game. Okay. And it's utilitarian as well. Okay. I wonder if we're going to have to use that in the Wily Fortress at any point. Oh, now we get Rush Coil. I could have used that in Missile Man stage for the E-Tank. And Tango is not impressed. Push, rush... What the heck is... Uh-oh. Okay, between this video and the next, I'm going to have to figure out what the rush button is. I don't know what the rush button is. Anyway, 2 Robot Masters down, and we're making great headway into this roster lineup. Overall, the stage wasn't terrible. There were a couple tricky spots, as you'll see in the outtakes, and that mainly had to do with bottomless pits and spikes. The boss itself, once you realized how he acts and his patterns, he's super easy and he goes down really fast. There's just the problem with his anchor, and that's the only thing you really need to watch out for. A lot less hectic of a battle than Missile Man was. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later, and stay retro. Okay, so a lot of these first outtakes is actually due to me trying to figure out the water physics and these bubbles and the spikes. So you're going to see a lot of nice failures as it just takes me straight up to my death. So it was just basically this main first area that really taught me how to not die. And then I think the remainder of these outtakes is just me completely missing the jumps or getting hit while I'm in the middle of a jump. And there's a lot of things in this level that can trip you up and send you to your doom to bottomless pits. A lot of enemies placed perfectly as ledge bats. And this is me slightly panicking that the thing's going to catch up to me, and I made a jump that I should not have done. That was too risky of a jump. See, as I said, if you get hit with the ink, you turn black, but I think that's all that happens to you. And I misjudged that jump completely. And I actually do it twice in the same area. And then the remainder of the outtakes is actually against the boss. Me trying to learn him. The first time I got to him with so little health, one attack, yeah, was pretty much, one mistake was it. The trick is to come to this boss fight with a lot of health so you have enough for mistakes. Because that anchor of his will punish you badly. Yeah, and don't jump up into him for contact damage when he's in his bubble. That's not a good idea. Overall, pretty easy.